Greetings to all my visitors here, and welcome to the channel, The Revolutionary. I am your host, The Revolutionary, and I'd like to thank you all for visiting this page and also this channel. Let's go ahead and let's start off on the topic today here, Saturday, April 6th, 2019. And what this video is on the topic of guns and the reason to be pro-gun. I have to start off by saying something. This is the first video of our channel here on The Revolutionary. I am a leftist. I'm a Marxist. I am a communist Marxist. But let me say something really quickly. Everyone is welcome to this page. And here's the reason why I also welcome any Republican voter or any conservative, obviously Republican voter. There's several reasons for this. One, I do believe in a number of different policies that Republican voters actually have. And I'm going to get into the end of this, video why I am considered myself a communist Marxist. And that's the reason why this audio video is the first and most important probably video of all. I used to be in the personal protection field, and what I do for a living, I am pretty well known, but what I do for a living across the country. And I understand that, middle America has a concern whenever there is a leftist or a liberal in office. It is very understandable. But I also want to say something that the liberals are wrong on this issue. And for a variety of reasons. One is the protection aspect, and the other is the cultural aspect. Okay? And anyone who's listened to this, if you're a conservative, if you're especially a white male, you need to listen to this, and I understand that in most cases, you're going to agree with what I mentioned here. And a lot of it has to do with understanding other people's culture and also respecting other people's space. Now, here is the proper reason and the many reasons to be pro-gun, and I'm doing conservatives and also Republicans a favor here because this is coming from a far leftist. I need to have every neoliberal listen to this and understand that you're wrong on this policy. First, the reason why this is a bad situation here of misunderstanding is, number one, this is a soft target issue. Anything that has been happening the last several years with mass shootings, it is a soft target issue. Anything that happens in big cities, it is a soft target issue. When it comes to crime, you need your guns. If you have home invasions, you need your guns. Why is that? If you live in a small town, you need your guns. The reason for that is number one, response time from law enforcement. A police officer is not going to be able, obviously, to go ahead and save you in immediate danger, regardless of what the response times are average for local law enforcement to your home or whatever. You need to be able to protect yourself in your own home and protect your own space and your own family. We live in a society today, unfortunately, where there's a lot of bad people out there. And you need to be able to have the chance to protect yourself. It is that simple. I protected numerous entertainers, right? And also bodyguarded and done things, and also security contracting. So I dealt with tier one experience, threats all the way down, to more simplistic, basically bodyguard bouncer work. And I will tell you, the situation is almost the same every single time. There are situations that come up out of nowhere that you're sometimes will wind up in a situation where you wish you had one. We have bad people out there, and you need to have a weapon on you to be able to protect yourself. It is that simple. Now, the other thing is I'm going to break down to have a better understanding why people should have more compassion and empathy towards Republicans, voters about the issue of guns, especially particularly white males. Number one, they live in a suburban, a lot of times in terms of a geographic sense, suburban or rural area. The sheriff department is going to have a hard time, who is underfunded, undermanned in many cases, again, on the response time. There's sometimes other factors when it comes to wild animals, especially if you have maybe farm animals yourself. If you're living in that situation, you have to actually have your weapons to be able to fend off some wild animals, particularly in places like Wyoming, or any kind of mountain terrain area. Okay. And that's another reason why I mentioned rural and city are different, because you have two different terrains. So here, in certain cities or whatever, you have a situation where, okay, you have gun violence. Then again, you have a situation that is in rural and also to suburban areas. You still have a problem, but two different terrains. Again, soft target issue. And but the one thing in these areas here, you have to be more sympathetic to people who live in these farther out areas, because number one, their response time. So I ask all leftist voters to go ahead and show some a little bit understanding, and at least reach out and ask your fellow neighbors, why is this man right on this channel, The Revolutionary? And a lot of them will understand and they will agree on everything I'm trying to at least put forth. So that's the other thing. Now we're getting into cultural aspect. Plain and simply, one of the things that y'all are going to appreciate about this channel, that I'm very blunt. This is something that white men do, and people should just understand it and respect it. If white men like to go ahead and have guns around and they're not hurting anyone else for their own pride, for their own family, for their own sports reasons, accept it. Deal with it. It's something that they have the right to do. And if it makes them feel better and they're not hurting anyone else, I'm all for it, especially in today's time with the attacks that are on male masculinity, right? And also to the attacks that are also on their own pride in their own households from women that they may be dating and also in a relationship with, that they feel highly unappreciated. So this is something that really is helpful silently to them. So this is something that people should understand, at least have a little empathy on. One of the things that you see people teasing a lot of white men on is this set to their masculinity. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Because again, if it makes them feel good in their masculinity, gentlemen, guys, if you're listening to this, I support it as a leftist. Because any damn thing that you have out there to make you feel like a man and it makes you feel good, do it. Especially in today's time with this nonsense about toxic masculinity. I don't give a damn what anyone on this channel says about the whole situation with this toxic masculinity crap. What that is code for let's sissify white men and black men. That's exactly what that is. So we will talk about on that issue at another date. But as far as this is concerned, everyone should understand that any man that is in any relationship with any woman is one hair away from losing their house, their finances, in some cases, their own pride in life. And guys, I know, and I've talked to white men, I've talked to black men, I've talked to many men, and there's one underlining current, a feeling of loneliness, okay, economic insecurity, and it's understandable. When I was a bouncer, one of the ways that I went in and diffused a lot of conflicts is I used to go by the international code of man respect. And when you sit down and you come up to another man, another male, the first thing you do is respect them. And you say, look, I'm going to respect you. Even guys I used to throw out, I used to say, look, I'm just letting you know, man to man, I don't want to have you repeat yourself. Let's talk outside. Tell me the issue, your side of the story. What I used to do, I used to really be throwing them out. But at the same time, I would get them outside, mission accomplished. And I say, look, just no disrespect. The night's over. I just didn't want to disrespect you in front of your wife or girlfriend or whoever that was, and also your male friends, because you're a male, I'm a male, and I shouldn't come at you like that. I just wanted to say, hey, look, let's do this. Just try this again next week. The whole idea is to get you out here safe, but I want to respect you. Most men understand that, and they respect it in most situations. And it's the same theory here. Sit down and take the time and ask other men why they do that. Be positive about it. Know your neighbors. That's very important. You'll get a lot of surprising answers. As a leftist, I have been surprised when I get down in regular conversations with a lot of Republican voters and whatnot, especially on, I was very surprised many times on, especially on the topic of, I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue tied here, abortion. That one surprised me. Most conservatives obviously are for that, but there are obviously some very extreme situations where they understand why somebody has to get them. Okay, so you'd be very surprised what Republican voters say. But I come from this from a side of education. I used to be in the protection field, and I've been around the country. And for what I do for a living, I travel a lot. So there's a unique understanding there. And also, believe it or not, used to live in an area on the outskirts of town. And I had a situation where some animals are fighting outside back when I was in my early 20s. And you see, I understand it. And this is when I had my guns already too. So I see why, in many cases, it's one thing that is needed. So I just wanted to sit down and make this audio video and promote understanding between both sides. The right wingers are definitely right on this issue, whether it be accidentally or whatever. Like I said, now for mass shootings, I understand that the left wants to protect young kids, the school shootings and everything. But again, ladies and gentlemen, what is that issue? Again, it's a soft target. The solutions is, again, tax incentives for those situations like that, for businesses to go ahead and protect and hire people to go ahead and actually protect these soft target areas, stadiums, malls, businesses, movie theaters, anything that attracts a crowd of people. That is a solution to the matter. And we can do it as a country. And that's exactly how you tackle that issue, while at the same time respecting the white male culture and the middle America's culture at the same time. Mission accomplished. And that's exactly how you do it. Guys, I would like to go ahead and say one thing that's listening to this audio video. Send your comments in the comment section. I want to hear what you have to say about this and my answers. And at the same time, throw your thoughts on there, on top of what my suggestions were. Anyone is welcome for their comments there. The email address too is the revolutionary@yahoo.com. I'd like to thank you on the first video of this channel. And, everyone has respected all the comments. I'm quite sure, this is the nature of YouTube. You're going to hear some people make comments, that are very disrespectful and whatnot. It happens. It's the nature of the internet. Deal with it. I'm going to deal with it. Doesn't faze me one bit, so the whole idea is bringing people together and trying the best to come up with solutions and answers to everything that is out there going on today in the world of politics. You know your neighbors. Do your best to go ahead and live a peaceful life. And we're going to definitely talk about a whole host of other, topics and whatnot in the different videos to come. Welcome to my channel. This is The Revolutionary.